Hello, everybody. This is Eliz-sha from WisdomSeekers.net, and I'm here today with air, which includes, I should know it by heart, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for July 21st to the 27th, 2019. And shall we jump right into it? And of course, this is a live stream, so at the end, if there's 3 or 4 questions, maybe 5, possibly, I will answer a few, but this is not the day that I will do a live interactive. I've already done. I just lost my video.
Bear with us. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still lost.
Windows.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, that's me. Technical. I will do a live interactive Tuesday, approximately around 6:00. Give or take a few minutes, never give, because of life. Life happens, especially when you've got 3 dogs that are a little bored. So the first card I pulled, and they're both double headers, so I'm not exactly remembering which one. I think it's this one. This one makes more sense. So believe and succeed. And right now, that is a huge, huge thing in our lives. Hello, Anjali. That's a beautiful name. Hello, Angela. Believe and succeed. That's what we're having to do right now. We have to believe in ourselves, trust ourselves. And once we believe in ourselves, we do start to succeed. The first card for us, air, is the Fool. One, and I have a lot of favorite cards, but this is another one of my favorite cards because the future is exactly open. We can do anything with the future. There's no limit to what we can do. So there's a lot that can happen. Plus the fact there's an angel there that's guiding and supporting us. The creatures of the earth are there in the form of the cat. The cat's thinking, he's a little bit unwise. He doesn't know everything because he's right beside the void. The void is neutral. The void is not good nor bad, but can bring forth either good or bad. And what covers us? We're going to be where we want to be very soon. So we're starting a new journey, but it appears that it's going to be a very short journey to get us to where we want to be. So the 6 of Swords. Again, it's one. Not very many swords are really positive, but this is a very positive one. The angel showing the fisherman or the wayfarer that he's almost home. He doesn't have very far to go before he's beside his fireside, which basically means that what we're looking for is coming to us very soon. What is behind us is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, when I read for this, for general, the Queen of Cups is intuition. It's the feminine form of intuition. It's the form of simply knowing. And the knowingness is the most positive, the best way of being spiritual, psychic, whatever you want to call it, because it's the highest form. You just know it because you've tapped into the original, and that's just the way it is. What we've just gone through is the Princess of Swords. And the Princess of Swords, it's a little tough lady. Well, it's your inner child. And this inner child wants you to know that which is holding you back. And so she puts it up and says, okay, it's time. So the Princess of Swords, we've just gone through the Princess of Swords, but we got there because we used our intuition. And where is it taking us? Well, it's pretty awesome. And I feel this week, for every one I've read for, fire, earth, water, it's been hard, not necessarily an easy week, but it's a week of letting go and attaining extreme positives for all our work, which means that for the level we're at, we've almost made it for that level. And some of us have moved up a level. And I don't know which some of us that is, but who knows? So right in front of us is the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is a master craftsman. And that's exactly what we are. We're master craftsmen. If you're watching this video, that means that you've been on this path for a while. Or if you think you've just joined, doesn't mean anything. It could be you've been on this path for quite a few lifetimes. But you're a master craftsman. You're good at what you do. You've learned the ropes. You know how to release. You've learned to allow yourself to be empathic. And you allow yourself to start over again many, many times. That gives you a much needed power. What does that bring us to? Well, the King of Pentacles. And as a general rule, it's a card of comfort. Yeah, if it was a human being, it would be something else. But it's a card of comfort. It's a card of putting your feet up and resting a little bit after the hard effort you've put in all day. It's a card of acquiring that which you need to move forward in life. The King of Pentacles. So it's a card of home. It's a card of being comfortable in your home. And so you're becoming comfortable within your life, you're in your body. And many of us have not been comfortable in our life, or in our bodies. We don't like the look of it. We're too thin, we're too fat, we're too tall, we're too short, we're too blue-eyed, we're too green-eyed. We've got too much curly hair or freckles. Because we've been brought up in a society that says we are not enough. But we're getting to the place where very much we are enough. And we're very happy with being enough. We have learned how to get ourselves out of predicaments. And for this month, this week, it's just saying we've learned that. It's not part of the energies. It's part of the past energies that create the energies of now. So what it brings us forward to, and they're all really basically good cards from now on, it's the Knight of Cups, which is support, strength. And if you don't have these for yourself, it's one that is lent to you, but it's also continued growth and spiritual growth at that. And it is also looking for, and this is the Holy Grail, and it depends who and what you are. At one time, the Holy Grail was looking and finding the spiritual energy of women because it had been lost for so many centuries. But it's not. We have found ourselves. So now the Holy Grail is finding what our next step is. And we've put in, and again, it says it again and again in this reading, we've put in the effort, we're reaping the rewards for what we have done. We're being acknowledged for what we've done. So the energy of this week is mostly accepting who we are. Last week it was integrating. This week it's accepting who we are, acknowledging us that we are powerful people, powerful innovators, powerful achievers, powerful at making things happen. Is that hard? You bet it's very hard. And but it's only a week. But things are coming up. With more energies coming in this week. Yay. And I say that sarcastically because, well, it's been coming in for weeks and weeks and months and months. And basically it's been coming in steadily for over a year, maybe 2 years. And it's not going to close. It's not going to change. I do believe it may change just a little bit in 5 years. I'm just guesstimating that in 5 years things will start to ease down and smooth out a little bit for us. Because that's when I get to retire, the next generation gets to take over. I'm not sure which yet. But the last card is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is transmutation. Transmutation and putting in its place something new and beautiful. And I'm going to pull one more card simply because this is the theme for this week, the Wheel of Fortune. We are rising up another level. It's like we're just sort of going like this, steady, 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 steady. But in each steady area, there's a click, and there's a bit of a rest point, maybe if we're lucky. So we're by the end of this week, we're going to hit a rest point, and if we're lucky, it'll last a full day. Oh, but with each leveling up, we become that much stronger, much more secure in ourselves. So this week again, it's an energy game. So the more you accept who you are, the more you love yourself, the easier it will be for you. So the first one was believe and succeed. And this is, I do believe, the new byword, joy. The stability comes with joy, but joy is the closest thing to true spirituality that we're ever going to find. And I say this over and over again with it's not joyful, it's not spiritual, not true spirituality. Only joy has the vibration that is closest to true spirituality. Devotion is fine as long as it's done with joy. Praying is good as long as it's done with joy. If you don't feel the joy, then go rethink what you think of as true spirituality. Because, and it's not a joy of, oh, wow, I'm super happy, I'm OCDing or whatever it's called. Joy is a steady, comfortable place in your life, probably in your heart, maybe all over your body would be even better in every single cell, where you just hum at a really good energy. So I don't know how to recap that. This is a good week. We're still receiving energy input. So it's going to be a little unbalancing. If you look at it from a spiritual point, and that is the best point to look at it from, you acknowledge, say thank you, please continue, and let it go. All right. So again, is there any questions?
There's one question from Debbie.
Hi, Deb.
She also sent
I'm Dad.
2 New Zealand dollars.
Oh, sweet. I wish I'd actually get the New Zealand dollars so that I could have them as a memento.
She asks, do my spirit guides have any advice on how I can best communicate or best listen to them?
Quiet the mind. But I will ask them. But quieting the mind, and that is the absolute best way, because with your mind chatters, you can't hear them, right? So can you hear anything but me chattering when I'm talking blah, 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 blah? No. So, but if I stop talking and it's suddenly quiet, then they can speak. They can tell you with some feeling, an emotion, a knowing, hearing voices, smelling things, tasting things, but it's a knowing. But let me ask Debbie. So for you, there's one added thing. Love yourself. Love yourself deeply. That is the first time I've got that one for listening to the guides. Let me see why. Because if you love yourself, you will automatically hear what they have to say, because sometimes you say, nope, that couldn't possibly be true, because they say good things to you or positive things to you. And you think, we as a society, a world society, have been trained to, no, that couldn't be true, when it's very positive about ourselves. Your guides obviously have a very high esteem for you, and they say, and rightly so. So yes, I think you're going to find that quieting the mind, but loving yourself is more important than anything else. And they also gave me a picture. Get yourself a crystal that you can play with. Whatever kind of crystal you like. I'm sure they have gorgeous ones down in New Zealand. Okay, and yeah, your guides are very chattery, by the way. They love to talk to you. Because I could go on for quite a bit of time, actually. One of the things they suggested was that maybe you take up wire wrapping and just keep your hands busy, and that would calm your mind. And wire wrapping's loads of fun. There's a zillion YouTube tutorials. Do something that gives you pleasure. Keep your hands occupied. Love yourself, and then you'll find that your mind is calming down enough so that you can hear. They are really talky.
So should I just interrupt you for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they really are talkative. Can't you tell? I'm talking loud. Stop. They're really talkative.
Yeah. So consider yourself interrupted.
Okay.
Angela Patterson asks, I'm just wondering if there is any advice or anything important my angels would like me to know right now.
Right now. Your angels or guides are very funny. And I'm pretty certain when you wrote right now, it was not written with the intonation of my daughter. But they said, when my daughter said that, they go, hush, child. So I expect that they are quite funny people. Let me ask. They're telling you you're on the right path. You're doing actually very well. They do suggest that maybe you worry a little bit too much, and it's hard not to when you're starting out life and things are not going the way you want them to. There's one thing that you might consider if you can't find a job locally. There are jobs, people in certain areas, there are jobs that are being crying out for people like you. So look around. You might find that you want to move somewhere, or take a job as a traveling nurse. I think they have those things too, so that you can go to these different places and find out what and where you would like to be. That would make it a little difficult for you to find a place to live in. But your guides say you're not going to find a place to live in until you're comfortable with yourself, which is very strange for them to say, comfortable with yourself, because I have kind of met you, and you're a very, very strong individual. But there's something you're not comfortable about what's happening in your life, and you're not going to move until that occurs. And I think that has to do with trusting who you are. Okay, it is a rambling night.
Mm-hmm. Consider yourself interrupted again.
Okay.
Stacy Libra asks, what is the important thing my other half thinks of me right now?
Stacy?
Stacy.
Well, your other half appears to be a tiny bit confused, and I would assume that from the way it's coming out that you have changed and grown, and he's kind of confused about that, not sure how to deal with it, not sure if it's going to last, and not sure that his other half likes it yet. In my opinion, not in my opinion, but in my experience, give him 6 months and he'll adjust. So if you're okay with him, just give him 6 months, he'll adjust, and then you change again and give him another 6 months. And after a while, he'll just be always sort of totally confused, and it'll be a way of life, and he'll either accept it or you guys won't. I don't feel that he's a bad person. I think with enough gentle persuasion, he might become very interested in growing along with you. I call it bootstrapping. Once a guy gets involved, you help each other up. One grows, the other one helps you up. And it's usually how it works. There's just at this point, there's just confusion. It may come out by complaints or complaining. What else? But look at it, because he's on your other half is on a unfamiliar footing, and he feels like there's nothing to put his feet down. He's nothing solid to put his feet on, and so he doesn't understand what's happening. I don't know what you can do, because I doubt he's ready to sit down and hear what you're talking about, because he's a typical man. It's not his idea. It's not valid at this point. Doesn't mean he won't change, because your vibrations are changing, which means he either changes or he doesn't. And with he changes, he catches onto your vibrations, then you can sit down and talk to him. And that is I wish there was more for you. Okay. A little more solid, I mean.
Yeah. Elliot Garcia, and he is our last question. How do my tiger eye crystals want me to change them?
Wow. Does your tiger eyes?
I guess they're stones, not crystals.
Yeah, they're called crystals. They changed the names. Crystals used to be just these things when I first started out, but no, crystals are any stone. Well, first of all, they like to be cleaned in the full moon. If barring that, running water, no.
I think tiger's eyes, you can use water.
Yeah, running water. Do be aware that they're asbestos, so you do not want to put them into your drinking water at all, ever. My impression is they would like to be worn. So again, get some wire, learn how to wrap. They're great tutorials out there, and it's really good. The wire wrapping is really good for keeping your hands busy, and your mind doesn't have to be occupied. That way you get to do things, and your mind can hear what you have to say. One of the very first thing that was said to me was, well, why don't you ask them? So obviously you have the ability to talk to minerals. It's worth learning, especially if you like your tiger's eyes enough to ask about them. And there's many things you can do with crystals that I suspect you can learn and incorporate. You can learn how to do grid work, which will for different energies. Abundance is probably the one that stands out. Have more spirituality, protection, finding things. So you might want to do more grid work. But your tiger's eye are particularly wanting to be on your person. Okay.
That is last of our questions. Though Stacy Libra does add, you are completely accurate about the way you described our relationship and how it continuously changes, but he is keeping up just about, but effort is good for now.
Good. If that's the case, buy him a book. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
It's a very good book.
It's an excellent book. And when you read it, the energy in the book is literally transforming, not just the words. The energy of the book will transform. And yeah, I highly recommend The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. It's a very old book. There's a movie out. The movie's not half as good as the book, but it's still fine. But it doesn't have the energy in it.
Still a good movie though.
Yeah, it's a nice movie. But read the book. Simple, easy book to read. My kids have been buying it for 20 years and giving it out as gifts, just because it is such a wonderful book. Oh, well, that's so sweet.
June Benson, we will be having a longer Q&A interactive on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So feel free to join us then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours sleep last night, and I'm a little tiny bit punched.
Fault.
Mostly her fault, yes. Well, we could blame her older sister, in fact. But that's why I'm rambling so much today. Because it's really, when you're punch drunk, it's really easy to get into the energies, right? Anyhow, I'm going to say goodbye.
Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Yeah, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. I'm looking forward to talking to you, June. I do have to say goodbye though. Namaste. It's been a pleasure. Namaste.